Hi everyone. Hope everyone had a great dinner. As Peter said, my name is Jessica Martinez. I'm with the National Council for Occupational Safety and Health. You got an email about this conference? That's me. I am honored here today. I have the opportunity and honor to introduce the awardee for the COSH Activist Award. And this award recognizes a recent activist into the COSH network for their sustained and outstanding efforts and dedication to fight for improved health and safety for all workers. And this award actually is being recognized to Chloe Osmer, who I've had the great pleasure of working with for a couple years now, 4 or 5 years, something like that. And before I say who she works for, I have to say that, pay attention, Chloe is an amazing leader, amazing, in big cap letters. And she's a critical thinker, dedicated to social change and transformational change, not only for her own staff, but also really, really committed to following that model and developing leaders. So as we see a leader in her, it's truly a reflection of all the leaders that have been involved in the car wash campaign, which we popularly call in the Los Angeles area as what? Carwacheros, right? Chloe began on the campaign shortly before it launched in March 2008 and was the director of the campaign when Carwacheros won their first union contract in October of 2011. And also when many people thought it couldn't be done. So I just want to hear a round of applause. It's the first union for Carwacheros. This effort obviously was supported by organized labor, USW, where are you? And in this effort, Chloe helped a lot of workers file COSH complaints, and resulting in fines over $20,000 to really exploitative employers. One story that I do have to share in the process of Chloe filing a collective COSH complaint, and it was truly a collective process. I was there to witness Chloe doing the training for the workers, doing the investigative process, the assessments. And when I say Chloe, it wasn't only Chloe, but it was Chloe developing, like I said, car wash worker leaders who were doing their own training, peer-to-peer training, their own surveying, to be able to create a strong COSH complaint. They were able to win party status despite hard times in the car wash campaign. If you want somewhat of a funny story, once an investigator went to a car wash to follow up on a complaint which Chloe had helped workers file. Because the investigator didn't speak Spanish, he asked the company to assign someone to translate. And guess who they assigned? The manager, who then sat in on the one-on-ones with workers who suddenly found they didn't have much to report for obvious reasons, right? But this was actually unnecessary. Workers had complained that the company didn't provide toilet paper. And the investigator decided totally on his own initiative that the lack of toilet paper was due to worker thievery and not to management neglect. So in other words, assigning a manager to tail him was totally unnecessary. But Chloe stuck to it, as dedicated as she is, pushed back, and the campaign did get party status, and the complaint was issued as a fine. So that's just one victory of the many that Chloe has moved forward. Most recently, the car wash workers have also led a heat stress campaign, which Chloe has been key and instrumental in putting forward. They have started what we call the water bottle campaign. So you see the water bottles, they have made their own stickers that says, come here for information. We are organizing workers with images of carwacheros. Has been very popular throughout Southern California. In addition to creating mini fotonovelas, which are small comic books of carwacheros telling their story. She has also been key in organizing Workers' Memorial Day in Los Angeles, has led the Health and Safety QA Committee, which is the car wash organizing committee. And they had their first health and safety committee, the Carwacheros, led by women and men who were taking their own notes, facilitating meetings, opening the space, creating health fairs, thinking outside the box, and actually also doing photo exhibits. These were workers that were taking photos of themselves exposed to hazards. And Chloe turned that into a photo exhibit for all to share and did it through health fairs and several other labor events. Since she went to the AFL-CIO, Chloe has been instrumental not only with the car wash campaign, but she continues her organizing efforts. She now serves as the senior organizer and has gone as a transnational organizer. She's organizing workers in Mexico, comes back, travels all over, comes back, and still has time to join our SoCal COSH board meetings. And not only is she at the meetings, she's involved all the way in between meetings. Always very willing. I don't think I've ever called you, Chloe, and you've said no. All the time. Very willing. If it's a small task as, you know, distributing flyers, as big as like running, facilitating a strategic meeting, she's very willing. So I'm very happy and honored, Chloe, to be able to present this award, and not only on my behalf, but our clique here that I know, I'm sorry we're a little cliquish California here, but we're all very proud, and we want to extend a very happy congratulations from all of us.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Thanks to everybody here, to the California crew. I'm really honored to receive this award, especially because I know there's so much really amazing work that's being done by COSH groups all across the country. And, you know, as the recipient of the new COSH Activist Award, I'm really proud to follow and to try and follow, at least in the footsteps of people in this room who've been working pretty much their whole lives to try and make workplaces safer for working people. And I do want to say, though, that I think we all know health and safety really isn't given the importance that it should be, right? And I have to admit, when I first joined the labor movement, you know, I thought health and safety was a little, I'm not going to say boring, but maybe not the most exciting thing, right? When I first started in my union, I wanted to join the Strike Action Committee, not the Health and Safety Committee. But all that changed, and it started when I began working on the Clean Car Wash campaign. And as Jessica said, that's a joint effort between the steelworkers and the AFL-CIO and community groups in Los Angeles. And on the campaign, I met workers like Aura Lopez. She's a 29-year-old car washera who had left her 2 young daughters back in Guatemala to try and find a job to support them in the U.S. One day while she was working at the car wash, and this is a place where the owner would regularly pay her less than half of the legal minimum wage for her job that was sweating throughout the day under the sun, washing cars nonstop. As she was doing her work, she slipped off of the tire that she was standing on to try and reach the windshield of a truck. She fell backwards off that tire onto a steel faucet. She damaged her spine and permanently injured her, and she's crippled to this day and can't get around without crutches. And the reason that she was on that tire is because the owner of the car wash didn't think it was worth his time to fix the 1 stepladder that the car wash had, right? And Aura's life changed instantly that day. And although she became a powerful and tireless advocate for health and safety in the campaign, when she ultimately returned to Guatemala to be with her daughters, she returned to a life that was filled with constant pain and an inability to work anymore. That was taken from her just for trying to earn a living here in the U.S. And so it was because of Aura and the other workers on the car wash campaign who were faced with these life-altering dangers every single day who really motivated us to put health and safety first on the campaign and to put it out there at the forefront with the public. So I would say that was a huge part of what made me start doing health and safety work, but what really made me an activist, and I say this because I think we need more people to become safety activists, to be organizers who incorporate issues of safety in the workplace into campaigns, is the allies that I found when I was working on the car wash campaign. That's what really made me an activist. So this was organizations like UCLA LOSH, WorkSafe, COSH, EDEPSCA, people like Jessica Martinez, who's now with COSH, and Linda Delp with LOSH, who shared their technical expertise on how to file those CalOSHA complaints, who shared their knowledge of the agencies and popular education tactics. But more importantly, they shared with me the conviction that when workers are the ones that lead the fight for safety on the job, they can gain power in the workplace. And that's fundamental. And that was a revelation to me. So with their help, we were able to really use the fight against dangerous conditions to engage the community, right? To really get people thinking about what it meant when they went and got their car washed. We used it to hold employers accountable. That employer that Jessica was talking about eventually spent time in jail, and I think that's a victory. And probably most importantly out of all of these, we used safety advocacy to build worker leadership. And I'm happy to say, partly as a testament to this, there are now 3 union car washes in Los Angeles where workers have a union with the United Steelworkers and safer workplaces because of their efforts. So lastly, I just want to say what's kept me as an activist since I left the car wash campaign and since I started working in the AFL-CIO organizing department was being part of the really dynamic network we have in Los Angeles. And it's where workers and organizers from industries like warehouse and recycling and hotels and car wash and day laborers and domestic workers all share information and strategies, and where unions and worker centers and safety groups all learn from each other on a constant basis and support each other. So I want to thank all these groups, and I want to thank the car washeros for teaching me that fighting for a safer workplace is a critical part of organizing a union and improving people's lives. And I'm proud to be a new activist in the health and safety movement.